Now, let's join ace broadcaster Mamode Akugha as he takes us inside the Niger Delta.
Hello out there and welcome to the program. It's Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region. I'm your regular host, Mamode Akugha. In this edition of the program, we kickstart with the ongoing governorship race in Bayelsa State, which is expected to culminate in the November 16 governorship election in the oil-rich state. The governorship race is the former Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, Chief Ndutimi Alaibe, whose vision and mission statements take the lead in our package. Also in the race are other political heavyweights pursuing their governorship ambition under the platform of the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress, the two dominant political parties that have scheduled their primaries to hold on the 29th of August and the 3rd of September, respectively. We will, in the course of the program, furnish you with the details of the aspirants as well. And finally on the program, we'll bring you an update on the conflicts surrounding the operatorship of Oil Mining Lease 25, where there is currently no love lost between Shell Petroleum Development Company and its host communities in OML 25. For more details in our lineup, I will enjoin you to stay tuned as Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region, will be back in just a moment.
He's one of Bayelsa's finest, a world-class economist, businessman, banker, politician, and administrator par excellence. Ndutimi Alaibe, former Executive Director, Finance and Administration, and later Managing Director of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, former Special Advisor to the President on Niger Delta Affairs, and Coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program. Timi Alaibe, hero of the Niger Delta. Timi Alaibe, distinguished son of Bayelsa State. Timi, now is your time. Bayelsa needs you. Timi, we need you. This message is powered by Bayelsans for Good Governance.
Glad to have you back on the program. It's Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region. Former Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, Chief Ndutimi Alaibe, leaves no one in doubt that he is in the Bayelsa governorship race to complete the good works of outgoing Governor Henry Siraka Dixon and further break new frontiers for the sustainable development of the state. Chief Alaibe, who is a frontline aspirant in the September 3 governorship primaries of the People's Democratic Party (PDP, intends to deploy his vast experience in private and public sectors to transform Bayelsa State.
Chief Alaibe, a chartered accountant and finance expert, has a remarkable track record in the private sector, notably in the sphere of banking where he rose to the pinnacle of his career. In 2001, he was appointed Executive Director of Finance and Administration of the NDDC and rose to become the Commission's Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer. With his wealth of experience in the private and public sectors of the economy, Alaibe is fully equipped with intellectual compass to steer the ship of Bayelsa on a steady course to the promised land.
We will espouse our belief of using government as a social investment platform in the implementation of social infrastructural projects, security, health, and the environment. But more importantly, we will espouse our interest in using governance or government as an enabler for a conducive environment, peaceful and conducive environment to attract private sector capital, private sector experience, and private sector strategy in implementing accelerated economic development.
Prior to the September 3 governorship primaries of the PDP, the more politically discerning Bayelsans are rooting for Alaibe, and it appears their choice of the Opukuma-born politician is not misplaced after all. Over the years, Alaibe has demonstrated an uncommon passion for the development of Bayelsa State and the rest of the Niger Delta, and continues to identify with projects that are strategic to the region's socio-economic development. Recently, Alaibe had cause to celebrate the inroads made by Governor Seriake Dixon in the construction of the Sagbama-Ikremo Road, which now links scores of isolated riverine communities in the Bayelsa West Senatorial District.
Driving through this road, I am impressed. I want to say congratulations to the people of Ikremo and thank this performing governor that for once we have been able to drive through our communities and come this distance of the Niger Delta.
The Sagbama-Ikremo Road project was conceived about 40 years ago during the administration of President Shehu Shagari in the First Republic, but was not executed until it was awarded by the NDDC in 2004. The construction of the road was by no means an easy task, as it required dismantling thick forests in a largely swampy terrain, but the NDDC, under the dynamic leadership of Alaibe, had soldiered on to a point when the project saw the light of day.
This is a cut-through virgin forest, and you can see that it is to buttress the point that NDDC is traversing through the communities, through virgin forests, through the thick and thin, to ensure that we connect the Niger Delta. Yes, it's tedious, yes, it's heavy, the cost is heavy, but you try to span it through to meet the milestones that has been designated for the project.
On one occasion during his frequent visits to the Ikremo-Sagbama Road, Alaibe was accompanied by Senator Heineken Lukbobri, who is from Ikremo.
This is, I think, the most important project, to the people of Sagbama and Ikremo local government areas, because the cost of transportation or the difficulty in communication, in our area, because you have to pass through the rivers. If I have to, when I live here, I'm going to my hometown, I have to pass through Delta State, then take a boat. I will drive for about 40 minutes to get to Ikremo. But we're happy today that NDDC has shown to the whole world that despite the difficulty, about the terrain, it's achievable.
The NDDC built the Sagbama-Ikremo route through Tumbo Bolorua and stopped at Ebedebiri, from where Governor Seriake Dixon continued the construction to Tororua and is now extending it to Ikremo. Alaibe, who is excited that for the first time the over 90 riverine communities in the Bayelsa West Senatorial District can now access other parts of the state by road, hails Governor Dixon for taking the project this far. He promises to take the 100-kilometer Sagbama-Ikremo road up to Age, where the proposed Bayelsa Deep Sea Port is located, if elected the next governor of Bayelsa State.
We are going to extend that to a place called Age, where we have the deep sea port activity. That will change the economic landscape of our state, and also on the brass axis.
The Sagbama-Ikremo Road, Oditrofani Road and St. Paul Road are some of the several big-ticket projects awarded and executed by the NDDC under the supervision of Timi Alaibe. Coming from a background of development, Alaibe recognizes the need for a politically stable and secure environment to promote rapid transformation in Bayelsa State. To this end, he has devised a robust social security policy to effectively tackle the menace of youth restiveness in a state that is fondly referred to as the Jerusalem of all Ijaw people.
Inside the Niger Delta.
In furtherance of his governorship ambition in Bayelsa State, Chief Timi Alaibe recently submitted its expression of interest forms at the headquarters of the People's Democratic Party in Abuja. Having fulfilled his party's precondition to vie for the governorship of Bayelsa State, Alaibe counts on the support of Bayelsans to enable him articulate his roadmap for a new beginning in the oil-rich state.
I've run an organization, 145 local governments. Bayelsa State is just 8 local governments. Don't I have the capacity to run the I've run a system that had over 5,000 projects at don't think that the projects in Bayelsa State are up to 5,000 projects. So I come with that strong capacity and business sense to ensure that our people enjoy my vision of a shared economic prosperity.
The former NDDC boss enjoins Bayelsans to cast their votes for the PDP, which it describes as the party that truly connects with the Ijaw people and their counterparts in the Niger Delta.
Bayelsa State is a PDP state. We will continue to support the activities of PDP currently as being pursued by our dear Governor Seraki Dixon, who has led the party well, and you all know that, and has invested in quite strong, a lot of infrastructural projects. We will continue with that in this process as we become governor, and also underscore the prosperous economic agenda for our people. And we'll pursue that aggressively.
In the race for the Creek Haven are several other aspirants on the platform of the PDP and the APC. They have also promised to enter into a social contract with Bayelsans to improve their lots in the next political dispensation.
Honorable Fred Yetemone Agbedi, representing Sagbama Ekremo Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, is a major contender for the governorship ticket of the People's Democratic Party. In pursuit of his governorship ambition, Honorable Agbedi recently set up his campaign organization and has been involved in several activities in the build-up to the September 3 PDP governorship primaries in Bayelsa State. Agbedi, accompanied by his supporters and political friends, was at the Soul Repairers Christian Center in his hometown of Agoro to thank God for his elevation in his political career and to dedicate his governorship ambition to his Creator.
Father, this hand is your hand. Shake it for victory. Amen. In the name of Jesus. Amen.
I know that as a God who never sleeps nor slumber, He is not going to sleep nor slumber. In this one I'm going to go into again. Amen. He is still going to control the heart of the king and the hearts of the people in Bayelsa.
Amen. Shortly after the church service, Honorable Agbedi met with his kith and kin at Agoro to formally inform them about his governorship ambition and to solicit their support.
I have decided today to come inform my community. It's my usual character to begin from my home. It's my usual tradition to start from my home. It's my usual tradition to come and take power from my village, my community. It is my usual way of telling my people when I start, all the forces, all the blessings, all the authorities will move with me out of this community to achieve glory and bring it back to this community and by extension service to Bayelsa.
The Agbedi campaign organization also found time in its busy schedule to visit the zonal office of the People's Democratic Party in Port Harcourt to inform members and leaders of the party of the intention of its principle.
As a party man, I should understand what to do. And I feel that before I go for any other public campaigns, including the party at the state, we should visit the zone where we have delegates from Bayelsa representing the party at the zonal level. And that's why I came to introduce my candidature, my campaign organization, as well as seek their support.
The last port of call for the Agbedi campaign organization was the national headquarters of the People's Democratic Party in Abuja. It was to submit the nomination and expression of interest forms obtained recently in furtherance of Honorable Agbedi's governorship project.
He is a youth-friendly governor. He is a governor for the people. He is a man of the people. He is a unifying factor. He is the love of Bayelsans. And so please, I implore every one of you, please, let's put our hands together to ensure that Honorable Fred Agbedi is elected the standard flag bearer of the People's Democratic Party come 3rd of September 2019, and vis-a-vis November 16, 2019, he will be the governor-elect of Bayelsa State.
Fred Agbedi is a party general. You know, when you are a member of the National Assembly or State Assembly and you go there for any interview or screening, they will say, take your bow and go. Fred Agbedi is going to take his bow and go in this party primary as a party general. So delegates know that he is one of you, and we cannot disappoint him at this time. The party want to produce a governor as one of us, and he is that person.
Honorable Agbedi's supporters are optimistic that their principal, who has over the years demonstrated enormous goodwill to Bayelsans as a political leader and public servant, will get their backing in return come September 3, 2019.
Inside the Niger Delta. Visit our YouTube channel at Max TV. Click on the subscribe button and be the first to get notifications on our uploads. Ambassador Godknows Bolade Igali, former secretary to the government of Bayelsa State, is a force to reckon with in the forthcoming governorship primaries of the People's Democratic Party. The former Nigerian Consul General to Cameroon and one-time Nigeria's ambassador to the Scandinavian countries of Norway, Sweden, Denmark and Finland is on the quiet side. But residing inside of him are deep wells of resources waiting to be exploited to transform Bayelsa State.
My dream is for me to be able to get to Bayelsa and bring all what we have to the table and galvanize our people into a productive workforce.
Ambassador Igali is a diplomat, technocrat and administrator with many years of experience in public service. The Southern Ijaw-born holds a doctorate in political and international studies from the University of Venezuela, masters in international law from the University of Lagos, and a Bachelor of Arts in History from the University of Port Harcourt. Ambassador Igali also holds a postgraduate diploma in international relations and professional certifications from the Nigerian Foreign Service Academy and the Diplomatic Academy of Islamabad, Pakistan. From all indications, Ambassador Igali is eminently qualified to occupy the exalted office of governor in Bayelsa State. For him, however, it is more about character and public trust than qualification in the race for Creek Haven.
Many people ask me, they say, why are so many young people behind you? Why is the youth so excited about you? It's because the youth see a person that can create a future for them. We will go on robust capacity and human development programs that will give people the wherewithal to be able to do things for themselves and to be employable. Can we do it? Yes, I've done it before.
I can testify about Ambassador Godknows Bolade Igali. Even when he was a permanent secretary in Ministry of Power, a lot of Bayelsa youth have been going to Abuja. He has been paying school fee for them. He has been giving recommendation for various companies for them to have jobs. I'm also a beneficiary to it. I believe if Ambassador Igali come to power, there will be massive development will take place in Bayelsa.
My principal is a diplomat emeritus. He doesn't believe in violence, and he believes that with strategic consultation and relationship, you can achieve what violence cannot achieve. It is time for Bayelsa for us to apply diplomacy in much of the things we do.
Ambassador Igali's intention is to reinvent governance and run a smart and innovative government if elected the next governor of Bayelsa State. Inside the Niger Delta.
And now away from politics. The face-off between Shell Petroleum Development Company SPDC and host communities of oil mining lease OML 25 is far from over, despite the intervention of the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike and the subsequent signing of a memorandum of understanding between SPDC and a section of the host communities for the reopening of Belema oil flow station and gas plant that have been shut since August 2017. Correspondent Chika Bodozie, who visited Kula Kingdom recently, reports that there seems to be no end in sight for the protracted dispute over the operatorship of OML 25.
In the month of June this year, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike intervened in the dispute over the operatorship of OML 25, which has brought SPDC and its host communities in the oil-rich Kula Kingdom on a collusion course. While lamenting the negative impact of the continued closure of the oil facility on the country's economic survival, Governor Wike had directed that the Belema flow station be reopened in 7 days.
Federal government is being denied revenue. State government is being denied revenue. Local government is being denied revenue. As a responsible government, will you fold your hands and allow this? I'm not interested about who has right to drill oil. It's not my business. It's not my business. I don't give such this. I don't. But when there's a problem where the community is affected, I must come in.
Following Governor Wike's directive, Shell recently signed a memorandum of understanding with representatives of the host communities for the reopening of the dormant oil facility. On a recent visit to the area, however, it was discovered that there were no signs of truce as the Belema flow station was still being occupied by protesting women from the host communities of Belema, Ofonyama and Ingeje. At a recent press briefing in Kula Kingdom, some community leaders gave reasons why Governor Wike's intervention failed to resolve the dispute on OML 25.
Some of our chiefs were hoodwinked by the secretary to the state government, Alaba, to sign a memorious MOU that was shrouded in misery. It was a contumelious stratagem by political jobbers.
Community leaders, in solidarity with women currently occupying the Belema flow station, also disowned those who signed the recent memorandum of understanding with Shell.
The signing of that agreement would not lead to the opening of OML 25. I told them that the people with whom they were negotiating at that meeting were not in a position, or are not even now in a position, to cause the opening of OML 25, that the real stakeholders were not in that meeting.
The face-off between SPDC and its host communities in Kula Kingdom had heightened in August 2017 when the Belema flow station was shut and occupied by protesting women alleging that Shell had failed to carry out its corporate social responsibility since it commenced operation of OML 25 over 3 decades ago. The host communities further alleged that their strained relationship with Shell had assumed a new twist upon the discovery few years back that the Anglo-Dutch oil giant was making surreptitious moves to divest its interest in OML 25.
In 2013, SPDC placed OML 25 for divestment at $450 million US dollars to some former SPDC and NNPC retirees with the name Cresta. The community protested against it because we refused to be handed over from one foreign slave master to another local company whose antecedents are known to us.
For its part, Shell insists that it has been alive to its corporate social responsibilities in OML 25. Having renewed its operatorship of OML 25, Shell is soliciting the cooperation of its host communities in a new relationship that guarantees mutual benefits in the richly endowed oil fields of Kula Kingdom.
I have made myself available to talk with as many of the stakeholders as possible from the community to try and understand better what the issues are and how we can go about resolving them. And whatever grievances and social amenities, employment issues that the community have, we are prepared to be part of that.
Since Shell started operating here, they have not done anything significant for the community. So personally, I cannot go against the wishes of my people. I must go with them. And seeing the suffering they have been suffering, which I am also suffering, I would not like Shell to come back to operate OML 25. They should give OML 25 to other operators. If possible, to Belema Oil Producing Limited, our own son. If, on the other hand, they feel that they have gotten license, they want to operate, Belema Oil Producing Limited has a stake, about 7.something% in that stake. Let him give him the operatorship of that OML 25. So that eventually, if they want to sell, he should have the first option of refusal before they could sell it. That is my stand.
As far as the communities are concerned, Shell is a persona non grata in Kula Kingdom, trying to flog a dead horse with its renewed proposal. In solidarity with the Kula people is Chief Gani Toba, leader of conscience of the Ogoni people. Chief Toba insists that the people are empowered under the provisions of several international legal instruments to withdraw their social license from Shell in its operatorship of OML 25.
The Rivers State government backed Royal Shell by saying, look, we'll give you 7 days to leave the place. How? We want people not to carry arms against the state or against anybody. You have any issue, follow it up in a peaceful manner, and that's what they have done, which is recognized by Nigerian law and international law.
The current stalemate on the operatorship of OML 25 is an ominous sign of a full-blown crisis in the offing. With a daily production capacity of 44,000 barrels of crude oil and 103 metric cubic feet of gas, the Belemap Flow Station is one of the most lucrative oil fields in the Niger Delta. Following Governor Wike's inability to pour oil on the troubled waters of Kula Kingdom, the onus is on the federal government to step in and avert a likely repeat of bad history in the Niger Delta.
Inside the Niger Delta.
And with that report, we draw the curtain on the program. Many thanks for staying tuned. Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region will be back on this station same time next week. You can also follow us on our social media handles showing on your screen right now. Until then, I'm yours sincerely, Mamode Akugha, signing off on the program.